you've got a question. James, when you're ready to go, mate, off you go, please. Thank you.
Hi, Mark. A chance to seal the series tomorrow. I mean, how big a statement would that be? How big an achievement would that be?
A brilliant achievement to win in India against a top side. I think it gives a massive opportunity. Also, it can give us huge confidence going into the English summer and the World Cup being here. So I think although we're trying a few different things, a few different rules for certain players, I think it is a good opportunity. When you put wins on the board like we did before the 50 over World Cup, it gives you confidence. We're not going to take a backward step now. So it's sort of keep going to try and to get that series win.
How's your heel? All right?
Yes, good, thanks. Bit of a niggle before the second game, but yeah, pulled up well. I did a big fitness test before the game. All of that went to plan. And then it was ultimately on my head, as it's been, in the past. And this time, I've learned in the past, if it's not ready, don't play. But this time I felt it was good. And I'm glad I did play.
And you're good for tomorrow?
Yes, my name will be in the hat again if selected. So, yeah, all good.
Can I just ask you about the toss? A lot's been made that the team batting second wins so far in this series. How big an advantage is that for you? And how hard is it to bowl with the dew?
I think it's a bit of a plus and minus, actually, because if you bowl second, you get to see what the opposition have done, what works for them. But both teams, the way that their batting lineups are, clearly like the chase. So often we know that we're going to be bowling first if we win the toss. That's just because that's how we play and how we back ourselves. If the wicket determines something different, then I'm sure we'll be happy to bat first. And we've got the lineup that, we've got confidence in every player in that dressing room that if we need to, bat first and get a big score, I'm sure we can do that. And like I say, when you watch the opposition bowlers, you get to see, the slower balls are working, or you need a ball slightly fuller or slightly shorter or whatever it may be. So you do get a feel of the opposition as well. But like I say, both teams do like to chase. So the dew factor, I'm not sure that it's really, in terms of how I felt. I've bowled obviously first twice, but I'll have to see if it happens to me next game. But I don't feel like it would be something that would make me nervous or something I feel we couldn't deal with. So if we execute well, like we did last game, then I'm sure we can do well.
You don't feel there's an unfair balance then?
Not really, no. I just think both teams like to chase. I think that, if you execute your skills well and you adapt during the game to what's happening, early wickets have been key. When we put a dent in India's batting lineup, then it makes them harder to get a big score at the end, and they have to go doubly hard later on. So that game plan will be the same whether it's bowling first or bowling second.
And finally, from me, how pleased are you with the way you're bowling, particularly your pace bowling alongside Jofra Archer, you guys working in tandem? And do you feel now you're a key component of this T20 team?
No, I don't really feel that. I feel like I've played well in a couple of games, but last summer I played well against Australia, and then I missed out in South Africa. So we've got that many good bowlers that I don't feel like my place is a given. It gives me another chance to prove myself in this series, and ultimately we all want to be part of that group that plays in the World Cup and hopefully wins the World Cup for England. We've got, like I say, we've got plenty of backup. People will go in and out of form. Injuries will come and go. So it's important that as a group, no one takes the spot for granted.
Thanks, Mark.
Yes, James.
Scott Taylor, please.
Hey, Mark. Owen said before the series that this is the last time he'll have his strongest group of players. So how much confidence does it give you knowing that you're in that group of players that he prefers ahead of the World Cup?
Yeah, a lot of confidence. I think he's a great leader. Someone that, when I don't play, he tells me, straight why I'm not playing or what he wants me to improve on. And then during the games or when I am playing, it's very clear my role. It's very clear what he's after for me in the game in terms of plans and things. So it gives me a lot of confidence that he sees me that way. Obviously, I've played a lot of games under his captaincy. So we both, I think, get on well and know each other well. well enough to have that relationship. Yeah, I'm delighted that he feels that way, but that doesn't by any means mean that I'm a given in the team. So got to keep working hard off the field as well as on the field, and keep delivering.
And you're obviously not playing in the IPL this year, but is there a more conscious effort to learn as much as you can in this series, given the World Cup is in India in 7 months' time?
Absolutely. Watching their bowlers, I played with Shardul Thakur at Chennai, and he's got a new slower ball. So just looking at that and how well that's worked here, is that something I could try and adapt into my game? My role's been pretty clear in the plans that I've been trying to do, but behind the scenes, I'm still trying to learn new things. Slower balls, try and get better at my Yorker bowling. So there is things always to improve on, but it's always trying to pick up things. These are the conditions we're going to come up against in the World Cup. So it's trying to get the right skills in place to be able to adapt on any given surface or the type of pitches we might come across here.
And we've seen that in most interviews you do, you always get asked about Jofra Archer and always compared to how fast you two bowl. Does that frustrate you a bit that you're not sort of being recognised as an own entity in that regard and constantly being compared to another fast bowler?
It doesn't bother us in terms of being compared. It's the same question all the time, isn't it? That's the or do you and Joff try and bowl faster than each other? And I think now we've played together so much that we just play each other's roles. We enjoy playing together. It brings the best out of me, as it does, I'm sure, with him. So we just concentrate on our own roles. And when we bowl together, it's exciting. So we bowled well together the other game and got partnership of the match or something like that, which is it's great to be able to back that up together and put the pressure on the opposition.
And just one on the hill, finally. Is it frustrating for you as a player who's sort of getting into your rhythm after that first T20 that you do suffer little niggles still here and there?
Yeah, but it was a strange one though. That I'm not obviously accustomed to strange injuries, but the tape on my foot had slid and it was choking my foot a little bit, which was meant that when I was bowling the last 3 or 4 overs, I sort of landing awkwardly on the tape and it gave me a little bit of a bruise on the outside of my foot. But that's, I've done that before. It's something that's not uncommon. The tape very occasionally does slide, but it was fine. The physio's worked me really well, and it's not really a frustration because I know I've been doing the right things, and frustrating that I got a niggle, but at least it wasn't a big injury or anything like that. And I'm going to keep doing the right things from behind the scenes, and if I have to miss a game here or there because of little things, I'd rather be charging in bowling as quick as I can and keep my performance level up than being at 50-60% and not doing myself or the team justice.
Perfect. Thanks, Woody.
Thanks, mate.
Carl Sajjad of the BBC, please.
Hi, Mark. Going from playing in front of fans to no fans, is it hard to keep readjusting to that? And how does it affect your game? Are you someone who thrives off that?
No, I think it was a bit of both. Actually, it was really surreal in terms of not having a crowd in. I sort of missed that buzz, and the atmosphere is fantastic. It's great to have fans in, but at the same time, I think it might have helped a little bit in the fact that when they're screaming for every shot or every run, and you're under pressure, there wasn't that sort of edge to it there. So it sort of felt there was positives and negatives both ways. I do miss the crowd. It's great to have people in the stadiums and that buzz, and it gives you that adrenaline rush. But at the same time, then, like I said, when we were bowling and they were hitting the runs or hitting a few runs, it didn't quite have that same edge, and it meant that maybe we were a little bit more relaxed.
Now, after Kohli's innings, arguably the momentum was slightly with India. What does it say about the character of this England side, the way that you went out and batted?
Well, I think it says a lot. I think we've been like this for a long time. This isn't just like we showed character once. This is the way that the brand of cricket we've tried to play. With the fantastic cricketers that we've got. We've got some very lucky, we're very lucky to be blessed with a lot of fantastic players through hard work and things like that. But they deliver on their match winners. So to have a fantastic bat lineup that we all trust, And as a bowler, it's great to know that, you know, no matter what happens for us, I truly believe that no matter what scores posted, our batters can knock it off.
So a lot of talk, as we've mentioned, has been around the toss. There's in the Test series, a lot of talk was around the pitches. Do you feel that that takes away from, you know, some of the performances of both teams?
No, no, I don't think that. I think, well, not speaking for the Test, but for the 2020s, I don't think, you know, the tosses. I think that's been made a bigger issue than what it actually is. I think if either team has to bat first, I still think they would think that they could win the game. I don't see it as a huge disadvantage. I just think that both teams prefer to chase, because that's the way that, you know, they know exactly what you've got to go for. You've seen how the pitch is playing and things like that. So no, I don't think. I think it's been made a bigger deal of in the 2020s than what it needs to be. I just think both teams prefer to play that way.
Yeah, I guess that's the point I was making. In some ways, too much has been made of the toss, and what I mean is in terms of perhaps the media and the public, too much has been made of, and it's taking the gloss off what are really good performances.
Yeah, but I think that's a bit, for me, it doesn't really bother us. It's a bit outside noise-ish. Like, I think our performances have been really good. So I haven't once thought, oh, it's because of the toss or it's because of this and that. I just think we've played well, and that's the way that I'm viewing it. I guess what you're saying is it's not a frustration for me to hear people say that. If that's what they think, then that's fine. But as a playing group, we're concentrating solely on our performance and how our plans and how we can get better game to game. The game we lost, we had a nice chat after the match to see how we could improve the next game. And even after this one, we won this one, we still said what we did well, what we could do better. So our focus hasn't been on, you know, oh, if we win the toss, or if we lose the toss, we're going to do this. It's just been solely on performance.
And the final one for me, how pleasing was it to deliver a winning performance on Owen Morgan's 100th Test T20 cap?
Yeah, it was, you know, it's brilliant for him. Josh spoke fantastic in the huddle. He really spoke well for Mogi. They're obviously close friends. We all, you know, respect Mogi a huge amount. A lot of us have played a lot of games under him. We're very close friends, close as a group. So I was delighted for Mogi, you know, to receive that sort of respect from Joss, and the rest of the group really loved it as well. And to get the win sort of tops it off for him, I guess. It was a good performance and one that I'm sure he'll remember for his 100th game. He's led the side really well. He's a fantastic leader, and you know, Joss is a leader as well. So for those two guys to stand up and, you know, get that win was important.
Top man, thanks.
Thank you.
Shield Berry, please.
Good afternoon, Mark. The importance of speed guns might be slightly overplayed, but do you ever use them in the nets? And have you ever notched 100 on one?
No, I've never notched 100. Well, actually, that's a lie. I've notched 1, 2, 3 on a gun at Durham when I was half run, which the gun was clearly broken. But I don't know if that counts or not. I think we occasionally use the speed gun, like when I'm coming back from injury, to get a gauge of, you know, how hard I'm running, how much I need to keep progressing. But during the actual nets, when you're on tour or in camp, you don't tend to use them that much. So in training, I would say you probably bowl 80% or 90%, and then
Thank you.
Sorry, say that again, please, Shield.
Is it our Wi-Fi?
It's his Wi-Fi, I think.
Is it not ours?
Shield, what I suggest is send me the follow-up question by text, and I can ask it myself.
That's fine. That's fine. There's no follow-up.
Okay.
Thanks.
No, thank you, mate. Mike Walters, please.
Woody, hello, mate. Hope you're well. Can you just give me give us an insight? You take early wickets, you put England on the front foot. You've got bowling figures which look like a masterpiece, and then Kohli comes along and swaps a couple of sixes to spray graffiti over a perfectly good analysis. Can you just tell us what goes through your mind when Kohli tees off and there's not a lot you can do about it?
So the captain obviously ball to ball is totally at this point. Obviously, we're getting towards the back end of the innings. We have a plan as a group. So Chris Jordan often is sort of near the ball as to talk about as well. Obviously, experienced bowler. We decide on that ball what we're going to do, and then you try and execute. If you get the execution wrong, you can say the captain, look, I think the plan was good, but the execution was wrong. Or we might say, look, we want to change the plan, and this is what we're going to. Actually, a couple of them, I thought, from what we were trying to bowl, I actually bowled what I wanted to do, and he just played good shots, and good players are allowed to do that. At the end of the game, I said to him that first one he hit me for 6 was a hell of a shot. So, sometimes if you allow good players to get in, he got in, he took his time, and then he caught up later on at the end. And like I say, he's a fantastic player, one that we've tried to get out early. This time he didn't, but we were still pleased with the score that we kept them to. So I'll take the battering at the end for the early prizes before that.
Yeah, just a quick follow-up, completely unconnected. You're a World Cup winner over the 50-over course. How much are you motivated by the potential, and I appreciate we're still 6-7 months away yet, but by the potential of being a World Cup winner over 2 different forms of the game? Because there's not many Englishmen can say that.
No, that would be something I would be extremely proud of, and I'd love to be a part of that. Obviously, there's a lot of hard work that needs to go in before that, but I think we have got the potential to do that. We've got a fantastic team. There is the case of the old, don't look too far ahead and stuff, but we will be going to the World Cup, trying to win, as every team will be. And it would be a fantastic achievement, and one that we'll be all trying our best to do and leave. I heard Collie say the word legacy or something like that the other day, and that would be great as a group to say, look back after your career and think about the things you've achieved.
Brilliant, top man. Thanks for your help.
Thanks.
4 more now, please. Nick Howson, Chris Stocks, John Westerby, and John Etheridge. Nick Howson, first of all, please.
Hi, Mark. Just a quick one again. I'd love to ask another question about Jofra, but you guys have got a really good record in the power play. In the power play overs, I think it's 7 wickets between you in the last 4. Can you talk a little bit about why you're able to bring the best out of each other bowling together in that period?
Well, I think Jofra, often when, my role sometimes has been out of the power play, obviously Jofra starts a lot of the time. And because he keeps the pressure on, I think that then allows the other team to try and take risks against other bowlers. He keeps it tight, which meant when I started well and got that wicket, they've got a new batsman. We could get a few dots and build pressure that way. So it meant that when they did try and take a risk, if we were on our game, then we got the wicket. So it was just bowling well in tandem, trying to back each other up, keeping the pressure on for each other. Of course, 2020 can change quick, where a couple of boundaries or one boundary changes it straight away. So I was just trying to not make sure that we didn't give anything too loose, and try and, like I say, really hunt for those positive options and try and take the wickets early doors.
And just on the heel, is it always in the back of your mind that not being able to play games a la, the first 2 T20s in a row, that's in the back of your mind when it comes to a tournament, and it might count against you, when it comes to maybe a selection between you and someone else?
It's not crossed my mind once. Not once. I don't know what to say. No, I'm not worried about that.
Good.
Chris Stocks, please.
Hi, Mark. Watching you and Jofra bowling in tandem in these T20s has made a lot of people think towards maybe the Ashes and what sort of mayhem you could cause down there later in the year. I just wondered whether your mind ever drifts towards that thought, and how much you're excited by the prospect of you, Jofra, and I guess maybe Ollie Stone all teaming up in Australia at the end of the year.
Look, it's great to have, like I've mentioned before, depth in the fast bowling department. Stoney did really well here in India. So to have 3 sort of quick bowlers all together, obviously we've got 2 of the best fast bowlers ever, one who is the best ever in that group as well. So we've got plenty of options, all-rounders, fast bowlers, skillful bowlers. So it'll be one great challenge to win in Australia, but we're starting to put together a fast bowling group who I think can challenge their batsmen, and it'll be great that, you know, if I can be a part of that.
And just to follow up, are you doing anything now, or is your kind of your fitness and your plans been mapped out at all with that T20 World Cup and the Ashes in mind in terms of your workload?
No, because I've got to get through a lot more than that to get to there. My workload, I think, is pretty much week to week. There'll be a conversation at the end of this tour about what I do in the build up to the tests in England. Obviously playing games for Durham and getting my fitness and stuff right. But I've done a lot of work behind the scenes on my own fitness with a strength coach. I've also done a lot of running and things like that. So I'm getting myself in a good place in terms to be ready for those future things like you've said. But in terms of my own fitness, I think it's a bit far ahead from, you know, the injuries and things that I've had to look that far ahead. I'd love to be a part of it, but plenty of work to do.
Thanks.
Two more now then, please. John Westerby and then John Etheridge. John Westerby first, please.
Thanks, Fergus. Hi, Mark. Just after what we've seen from the first three games in this series and what you quicker guys have achieved, can you give us a feel for how big a factor you're hoping, I guess, pace will be in the T20 World Cup later this year on pitches that may be similar?
Well, I hope it has a big impact. That'll give me a better chance. But look, I don't think India is somewhere that you would naturally say is, you know, fast bowler's paradise. You don't often with test matches and things, you think of Australia and the West Indies, South Africa. But you know, if I can do well this series, it could all change in the next two games, and you could be saying, oh well, the fast bowling was smashed in the last couple of games. So it comes and goes. At the minute, we're executing our plans well, but again, I don't think it's to get too high. When things go bad, it's not getting too low. So it's something that we've improved on as a group. At the minute, things are going well. So we've got to just keep sticking at it while we're on top, and hoping the next game's exactly the same.
Thanks.
And last of all, John Etheridge, please.
My question's just been asked. So I'll just clarify something you said earlier. You said you were once clocked, presumably definitely by a 40 speed and 123 miles an hour. Is that right? Up at Durham?
Yeah.
What's your fastest in a match? Do you know?
I think it was in that last game. I think it was in this last game.
What, the game yesterday?
Bounce at the Sharma. 155. 155.
That's kilometres, obviously. Yeah. Okay. That's quick. Thanks.
Thanks very much, everyone. Take care and look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Good night.
Thank you.